Hello, my name is Sarah, and I am an English teacher. Teaching has always been my passion, and I truly believe that language is not just a means of communication. It's a bridge that connects us to different cultures, ideas, and opportunities. I want to share with you my story and my journey in the world of education. Growing up, I always found solace in the pages of books. While my peers played outside, I would immerse myself in novels, exploring distant lands and different perspectives. I realized early on that the magic of storytelling wasn't just in the stories themselves, but in the words that conveyed emotions, experiences, and dreams. My fascination with language grew as I matured, and by the time I reached high school, I knew that I wanted to pursue a career where I could explore and share the beauty of language with others. After finishing school, I decided to major in English literature. I was determined to understand the depths of language, literature, and writing. The more I studied, the more I realized how important communication is, not just in daily life, but in shaping how we understand the world around us. I didn't just want to learn about English. I wanted to teach it, to inspire others to appreciate the language, just as I did. After completing my degree, I enrolled in a teacher training program and earned my certification. Teaching felt like the natural next step. It was an opportunity to not only share my knowledge, but also to ignite a spark of curiosity and love for language in my students. My first teaching job was at a small school in my hometown. The students were eager, but many of them came from backgrounds where English wasn't spoken at home. They found it difficult to speak and write in English, and at first, it seemed like a daunting challenge. I had to find a way to make the lessons engaging and approachable, ensuring that every student, regardless of their proficiency, could find their place in the classroom. I remember my very first lesson. I stood in front of the classroom, nervous but determined to make a difference. As I began explaining the first lesson, I could see the blank stares on their faces. I knew I had to shift my approach. So, instead of following the traditional textbook route, I decided to use storytelling. I began to tell them simple, fun stories in English, and then invited them to share their thoughts and feelings about the characters and events. Slowly, I saw the walls of hesitation break down. The students were engaging in the language. They were laughing, asking questions, and offering ideas. It was the beginning of a journey that would change both their lives and mine. As I continued my journey as a teacher, I developed my own teaching philosophy. I didn't just want my students to memorize words or follow rigid grammar rules. I wanted them to feel confident in using the language, to express themselves clearly, and to enjoy learning. Learning English isn't just about vocabulary and grammar. It's about discovering a new way of thinking, communicating, and connecting with the world. In my classroom, we don't just study English, we live it. I use real-world examples, interactive activities, and multimedia tools to make lessons interesting and relevant. We play games, act out short skits, write stories together, and even hold debates. I encourage my students to speak freely and confidently, making mistakes along the way, because mistakes are simply part of the learning process. Every mistake is a stepping stone to improvement. One of my proudest moments as a teacher came when one of my more reserved students, Aisha, finally spoke up during a class discussion. Aisha had always been very shy and hesitant to speak in English. But one day, she raised her hand and shared her thoughts on a topic we were discussing in class. She stammered a little, but she did it. The class applauded her, and I could see a newfound confidence in her eyes. That moment was a powerful reminder of why I teach, because teaching isn't just about helping students learn a subject. It's about empowering them to believe in themselves. Teaching is not without its challenges. There are days when things don't go as planned. There are students who struggle with pronunciation or have difficulty understanding complex grammar rules. Some students don't want to participate, while others may have difficulty staying focused. But I have learned that patience, creativity, and persistence are key to overcoming these challenges. Another challenge is keeping students engaged. In an age where digital distractions are everywhere, getting students to focus on their lessons can be tough. To keep them interested, I incorporate technology in the classroom. I use educational apps, videos, and online resources to make learning more interactive. Additionally, I encourage students to read stories and articles from the internet, which helps them apply what they learn to real-world contexts. One of the most fulfilling aspects of being an English teacher is seeing the growth of my students. I've seen students go from being reluctant to speak English to confidently giving presentations. I've seen shy, introverted students blossom into leaders in the classroom. And I've witnessed students' lives change as they realize that learning English opens up a world of opportunities, whether it's traveling abroad, accessing new information, or pursuing higher education. I recall a student named Ahmed who struggled in the beginning, but later became one of the top performers in the class. After his graduation, he sent me an email telling me that his English skills had helped him get a job at an international company. Stories like these remind me that teaching is not just about imparting knowledge, it's about changing lives. The impact I make as a teacher is far beyond the classroom, as my students carry their language skills with them into their futures. My dream is to help as many students as possible fall in love with English and realize their potential. I want to create more opportunities for them to practice and engage with the language. I dream of traveling to different countries and teaching English to children in underserved communities who don't have access to quality education. I believe every child, regardless of where they are born, deserves the chance to learn and grow. I also hope to write my own book, one that makes learning English fun, relatable, and effective. My goal is to create resources that can help students around the world learn English in a way that feels natural and engaging. Being an English teacher is not just a job for me, it's a calling. I wake up every morning excited to step into my classroom, knowing that I have the power to help shape my students' futures. It's a privilege to be a teacher, and every day I'm reminded of why I chose this path. It's about more than teaching grammar or vocabulary. It's about empowering students to become confident, capable communicators who can share their ideas with the world. If you're learning English, or if you've ever struggled with it, just remember, language is a journey. Take it one step at a time, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're part of the process. Keep practicing. Keep speaking, and remember that learning is an adventure that never truly ends.